tell me a little bit about your Grandpa Adams. And what was his first name?
Jesse.
Jesse Adams.
He is my grandfather.
Your mother's father.
He gets on this. He gets his horse and saddle. That's what they took. And he went to California with them. And what his job was, herding the horse, cabby they called it, you know. Kept them bunched up together. Of course, he had help, but Grandpa was a good rider, Mama said. And so one evening, it looked like rain, and the wagon train had circled, and was going to spend the night because they won't drive if they know that storms are coming naturally. Mm-hmm. So they all, spend the night, and they did, and had their campfires going, and they fixed something to eat, you know. It usually was fried or potatoes, and maybe they'd cook a big pot of beans and warm it up, have that, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he decided there'd been some Indian sign that day, and that worried me, so he decided he'd swing out away from the wagon train and see if he could pick up any clues. So the wind, he said, and Mama told me all this, he said the wind was blowing 100 miles an hour, and well, you know how it can blow sometimes. And he tied his horse down close to the creek where, you know, he knew this Indian up there, the way his horse acted. And so grass was that high, and so Grandpa went crawling on his hands and knees, and he stopped, and he looked up, and on a knoll, Mama said, quite a ways out, this Indian just raised up out of it, you know, and Grandpa was a little bit lower than him, and Grandpa had this old revolver, because Mama used to talk about it. That's what he went through the war with. A big gun, and Grandpa just pulled back, shot his head off. Ooh. And that way he couldn't go back, see, and tell them anything about the wagon train. Oh. Lord, there's 500 people on that train, and babies and everything you can think of. So anyway, and when he seen there was nobody else there, Grandpa went up there. He crawled through the grass. He had a man to go watch on him, and a woman's hair about that long, where he'd scalped him.
Oh my gosh.
And so he kept the go watch, I guess, all Mama's life. I don't know what happened to it. But, you know, back then, people were on starvation, and times were not good at all. And they were spreading out, you know, all over the West, trying to find a good home. And, of course, most of them got killed by the Indians because they were thick. But that's the way it was. And that was my Grandpa Adams. And he stayed 10 years in California, around San Francisco, 10 years, and made $10,000. And he brought it back with him, married her, and had a bunch of kids. And then the war broke out. And of course, he joined, fought 4 years in the Civil War, yeah.
But what was he like, his personality?
Well, I did not know him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He was tough, like most early people were. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now here's what they told about him. He was a sheriff there, down there in Arkansas, for 4 or 5 years, and they told this on him that they called him Uncle Jesse. They said, now Uncle Jesse would arrest a guy, and he'd say, now I'm going to give you your rights. Your rights are you can go over there to jail and pay the fine that you're going to have to pay. You can go setting up if you want to, or you can go strapped across the saddle. Which do you want? Because he's going to shoot him. Yeah.
Wow.
But he was a guy you couldn't fool with. You just left him alone. And it was his boy, John and Tim, that I visited this summer, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, they were my first cousins, yeah.
Well, I'll be. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Both of them are dead now. Both of them died in 1 year.
Oh.
Of course, they were getting quite old, but they're dead anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have any stories about his service in the military? Do you know, did your mom tell you anything about his being in the military in the Civil War?
Well, you know, me being the youngest of Mama's kids, you know, the oldest one's got most of the information.
Yeah.
And I come along a long time later, and Mama was getting old, and she'd about forgot everything.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that was real important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.